Good evening, I'm Shane Jones. Leading the news at 7. Government is in the process of introducing additional laws to create a more accessible and inclusive society for people with disabilities. This revelation from Minister of Social Care, Stephen Blackett. Kent Jerson has the details.
Minister Blackett was addressing the congregation of the Calvary Moravian Church during a special service to mark the Month of the Disabled. He used the occasion to assure members of the special grouping that designated parking backed by legislation isn't the end of government's efforts to make their lives more comfortable and fulfilling.
Further relief is on the way as the ministry is on the cusp of laying various pieces of legislation in Parliament which are aimed at bringing even greater comfort for those in the disabled community. And these pieces of legislation include the Employment Rights Prevention of Discrimination Bill and the Building Standards Bill, which seeks to promote the construction of buildings with adequate provision for persons with disabilities.
The Social Care Minister says many initiatives over the years to develop a more inclusive society have resulted in positive changes, including some members of the disabled community securing full-time employment. The congregation also heard from President of the Council for the Disabled, Marcia Holder-Small. She says the organization's lobbying efforts have been paying off.
As a result of the attention to social and disability issues that the Council's advocacy brings to the forefront of business activity, many are beginning to feel the pressure that challenges these corporations' human rights and environmental record. They are not seeing us as hostile critics, but more as helpful partners. Through the program developed by the Council, we can see visible evidence of companies utilizing their resources and beginning to take their social responsibility more seriously.
In his sermon, Reverend Dr. Adrian Smith focused on the need for respect.
Not just because an adult is in the room, not because your parents are in the room, a teacher, a head teacher, not because your job is paying you to be polite to a visitor or to a local, but I believe under God today that each one of us is called to remember that foundational to being human, foundational to being a child of God, foundational to being a Christian, foundational to being a Moravian today is that we have respect for life.
Reverend Smith also encouraged everyone to make respect for all a way of life. Kent Jerson, CBC News.
Christian leaders are being challenged not to engage in hypocritical behavior. It's coming from one of their own, Pastor Eric Peters, during the Prayer Warriors International Special Service at the Power in the Blood Assembly. He says for too long, some church leaders have been engaging in activities which do not reflect the messages they promote. He believes this is preventing the church from realizing its full potential.
There are many of us as Christian leaders that have been attached to the wrong things. We have been in bed with the wrong people. We have been embracing the wrong things. We have been sharing intimacy with things that God does not like. Are you understanding? And God is calling us to detach ourselves from it. But not just a detachment from it, but everything that it produces.
A former educator has taken issue with the country's 50% pass rate in schools. Well-known entertainer Mac Fingal suggests that this does not provide students with an incentive to give up their best. Instead, he believes it causes them to settle for the bare minimum.
It can never be a pass. 50% means you do not know 50% of your work. How would I get a pass? Huh? So you do carpentry, you get 50% carpentry. Go and home see a bill for me. False. You can't settle for 50%. Don't let them tell you that foolishness about 50% and you're okay. You got to master the subject. It's at least 75%.
He made the comments during a workshop for students, which formed part of the activities for the Week of Excellence. Training and Development Officer of the Productivity Council, Karen Collins, says the event was set up with the aim of helping the students find answers to the problems they face.
Hear from them what solutions they would like to see in place for them to help them get through life's challenges. And we also want to tell them about some of the resources out there for them. So we have invited here today people like the NCSA, HIV/AIDS Commission, Parados, the Barbados Family Planning Association is also going to be here to be able to speak to the students privately, those who may want to approach them, to ask them questions, etc.
Okay, we'll take a short break here and come back with more news. As the country continues to go through trying financial times, businesses have been forced to come up with new ways to make money. That's why a local fabric company has chosen to expand its product offerings to include food items. Sharika Griffith has that story.
When Sewing World first opened its doors, it was strictly a sewing store. Over time, it expanded its product line to include household accessories and furniture. The store has now gone a step further and added organic fruits, vegetables and herbs to its list of products.
We were well known for our fabrics, but then you see we've diversified, and you see upstairs we carry now a wide range of furniture, ornaments and clocks. So with the changing world, you have to change with the time. So we realized that in times like these, people are eating a lot healthier. And so we opted for this also in terms of the organic stuff. People don't want a lot of chemicals in their stuff. So I think that, you know, with a changing world, you have to change with the times.
Ms. Haynes says even though the introduction of increased taxes like the NSRL has had some effect on the business, it continues to strive to deliver quality products at affordable prices.
Some days we have good days and some days we have not so good days, but we're really thankful, and we've just celebrated African Month, and I must say that the schools really came out and got their African prints, and even churches are now getting involved in the African Awareness Month. So we did fairly well with the African prints this year.
She made the comments during the presentation of prizes to winners of the store's 2017 Christmas competition. Alvita Walker-Lifka won first prize of $2,500 in merchandise.
I actually missed the initial call, and I got this voicemail saying to call back Miss Haynes urgent. But I was like, who's Miss Haynes? I didn't know from her. So when I returned the call, she just explained, well, you won Sewing World's first prize. I was like, I did? What is the first prize? Because it was so long after Christmas, you weren't expecting it. It was a pleasant surprise.
Second prize of $1,500 in store credit went to Jacqueline Davis.
When I got the call, it was like landline to my cell, and it was like, I don't answer these calls, you know. But I did. Spirit just said answer, and I answered it, and then she told me she would call back, and I think that she took really long, so I called myself. So I was like, this is the young lady that you called just now, and then she said, you're a winner. I said, for what? And because I was like, boy, could win now, because I forget all about the competition. So I'm really thankful.
Like the others, third prize winner Betty Bailey is unsure what she'll purchase with her winnings.
I'll go to the store and see what's there for me that I don't have already, because probably everything in here I actually have. So just go around the store and see something different.
This is the 7th year for the competition. The women have until August to utilize their store credit. Sharika Griffith, Cbc News.
A lot of attention is being placed on Guyana's potential oil wealth, since that sector can ultimately alter the country's fiscal landscape. However, the CDB strongly advises the foreseeable economic must be managed properly. We hear more in this report.
Guyana's debt management portfolio, as well as its ability to access concessional financing in the future, will inevitably be affected by the country's oil and gas sector, and therefore good governance is essential to ensure that Guyana does not suffer instead of progress. That's according to the CDB's Economics Department Director, Dr. Justin Ram.
Now, the discovery of oil reserves has the potential to accelerate economic growth. But this growth must be managed carefully to ensure the maximum benefit to the Guyanese people and to the wider business community as well.
He explained that while the CDB remains committed to helping Guyana develop and transform in the upcoming years, especially in the oil and gas sector, there are other areas which should not be overlooked, since they too will contribute significantly to propel the country's economic state.
Like the government of Guyana, CDB believes that local government can be a key driver in transforming the economy and society for the better, as Guyana moves into an exciting future. So linked to this, local government can assist in the spatial transformation of the economy as the country looks to future growth opportunities